What's going on, everybody? This is your boy King Germ, one half of Pod and Saved Our Marriage. Each and every Friday, Queen Germ and myself drop an episode to show the people how Pod and saved our marriage. Now, we're not like most married couples. Most of the time we disagree, but that's the beauty of the show. So, when you get through listening to Sparrows on the Review, come give us a listen. Each and every Friday on any DSP, go look for Pod and Saved Our Marriage.
Welcome to Sparrows Under Review, and today we are talking about the 2024 Royal Rumble. And I have to slow down when I say that because I butcher the word royal.
And I'm JR, and she hurt my feelings because she wouldn't let me do my WWE voice.
Well, you know what? I'm allowing you to move on with your introduction. I wish you the best in your future endeavors.
Wow, I've never been future endeavored.
Now you have. So, the pay-per-view that I enjoy the most would be the Royal Rumble. And I think that's just mainly because people get thrown out of the ring. And there's some surprises every now and then. And you get to see a whole bunch of people that you don't normally get to see. Because, personal opinion coming in here, WWE is becoming trash again.
Oh, shit.
Like I said, that's my personal opinion. And I'm allowed to have my own opinions.
Well, wrestling fans, I'm going to say this. I watch Monday Night Raw every Monday. When I can, when I'm out of town. So.
I mean, I'm not saying we couldn't watch it, but they did all this hype about the women and they gave them their own special podcast, their own special pay-per-view event, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared. It's like, oh, we don't give a shit about you anymore.
That is true. But I will say this. I was really pissed off because they hyped up Jinder Mahal. He got beat up by The Rock. And then last night he had a world title match against Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Basically had the belt won and they snubbed him.
But does that surprise you though? Like, I'm sorry, but they're not going to let Seth Rollins lose the belt
to Jinder
Mahal when he just came back.
But he's red hot right now.
I understand, and I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying, it would not make sense.
So, can I go over what we do at least have confirmed?
You can.
What we have confirmed right now is the man that never wrestles is finally wrestling again. Roman Reigns, the WWE Universal whatever champion he is. He will be facing Randy Orton, LA Knight, and the master of the phenomenal forearm, AJ Styles, in a fatal four-way, which is really amazing because Randy Orton just came back from injury. AJ Styles is on steroids. Like,
not literally.
Just a joke. and you look at LA Knight, he's
starting some shit out here. You're gonna cause some problems.
LA Knight is the highest rising star
in your opinion.
Well, not in my opinion. It's in our IWC opinion.
Okay.
Then we have the United States Championship, which the champion is the front runner for the Drink Prime, Logan Paul, versus Kevin Owens, which is a weird mix because they had an 8-man tournament to determine the person, and there were a lot more qualified people than Kevin Owens. I wonder if it's part of his contract that he gets to stay in the middle card. He can't go to the lower end because Sami Zayn and him aren't tagging together. But they always find a reason to keep him going or doing something.
Mad in timeout.
Sorry about that, you all. Things happen with the...
Someone just forgot to cancel their reminder.
Yeah, reminders just always go off. And...
So, personal opinion to you. Kevin Owens, what are they doing? Like, do you think it's part of the contract that he's only wrestling so much? Is he that good? Do people enjoy him that much? Like... Because sometimes you'll see him and then he'll disappear for a while and then he'll come back full force. Like, is that because he's that good at what he does and people like him? Or do you think that's just part of this contract?
Well, I'm going to spin it like this. You remember how Dolph Ziggler made other people look good?
Yeah.
Kevin Owens can make people look better than what they are.
Okay.
And nothing on Logan Paul because he's an amazing athlete. Heck, he is a great wrestler. Let's just put it at that. He does what he does. Logan Paul has taken on he took the belt off Rey Mysterio. There's Dragon Lee that's in NXT that they brought up and then brought back down.
Okay.
And Dragon Lee is not ready to go to be Rey Mysterio. So they don't have a guy that can hang with Logan Paul, and they can't do the fight with The Miz because The Miz is whatever. And, you know, that's over on SmackDown, so that's a whole different arena.
So these two guys are on Raw?
These two are on SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad.
Then the other crazy thing that I would like to let everybody know about, I can tell you about the declarations for the men's Royal Rumble and women's.
Well, were we done with who do you think's going to win that match?
Logan Paul will retain.
Because we're throwing our things out here.
Yeah, Logan Paul will retain because he's not going to lose it. He's going to be star power at WrestleMania. They're not going to.
Do you think that he'll do it clean? Like, is he a good guy or a bad guy?
Oh no, he's got the Austin Theory and that other boy, Grayson Waller.
Is that who? Okay.
Yeah, they kind of like his little entourage, so they're going to help him cheat and win.
Kevin Owens have somebody in his corner?
No, because Sami Zayn is out.
Do you think somebody will come out though? Like, is there someone missing? Because I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown lately, so that's why I'm quizzing you. And other people that might not know what's going on, maybe they get intrigued by what we're talking about.
Right, and send us a message over at sparrowsunderreview@gmail.com. Get us up to speed on certain things.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens has nobody backing him.
As far as we know.
Right.
Okay.
So,
but you think that Logan Paul will retain?
Right, because it makes sense because you go Royal Rumble and then you have the worst pay-per-view that you can do, Elimination Chamber than Royal Rumble. Elimination Chamber, years ago, I just want to throw this in there, Bray Wyatt became a champion. God rest his soul. And it made sense for what they did for him because then his Fiend character got big because they needed a transitional champion.
Right.
But Elimination Chamber used to be a place where the title would be settled and then it would set up WrestleMania.
Okay.
Because of some prime players coming back into the wrestling business, the main events have already pretty much been predetermined in my eyes.
Okay.
And we'll go into that later.
You're generally pretty good at predicting what people are going to, or what storyline they're going to go with.
Right.
I mean, just let the WWE hire you already.
Right.
Because
I try to be a writer.
I know, and some of these lines that you come up with, in my opinion, are a little bit better than these. Like, you got to pay him millions, just come for some ideas.
Yeah, give me 6 figures. So one thing that was taunted and it was kind of teased to us was the encounter of the best wrestler in the world, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes.
Okay.
Now the narrative on that is both of them were in a company called All Elite Wrestling, and to some people All Embarrassment Wrestling. And Cody kind of transitioned out and left, so they didn't get to have that meeting because the Cody Rhodes that's here now was not the Cody Rhodes that was around when CM Punk was around. The Cody Rhodes that was here was more like Jinder Mahal. He was an Intercontinental Champion, but he wasn't star power. He had to leave and then come back, which we all know that story. So they're teasing next week that they're going to talk about this story that either has to end or CM Punk's story that has to begin. So that's a narrative for Seth Rollins' belt. Seth Rollins, no matter how they do it, CM Punk and him are going to face each other at WrestleMania.
Right. And see, the thing that drives me crazy, I feel like they're doing a lot more, I don't even know. Like, it used to be pay-per-view matches were the ones where the titles were fought for. And I like that. But I do feel like a lot of them over the last year didn't have a lot of title matches in them. No. And I'm just like, okay.
That's on behalf of Roman Reigns not being a real champion.
All right, true.
And then the thing with Seth Rollins, they gave him a belt, and then he started treating it like what we used to call back in the day a television title. And he was defending his World Heavyweight belt like every week. Mm-hmm. Like he just defended it last night against Jinder Mahal, or Monday night. And it's not...
And I mean, they need a specific TV title, in my opinion.
Right. They need to bring back a low-card title, like the 24 belt or something.
Right, but not the 24 belt. Because, like, I'm sorry, but that 24 belt was a joke. Like, you can't... Sorry, guys. You can't tell me otherwise. I mean, I love me some R-Truth, but come on.
And I like what R-Truth is doing now. He's part of the fake, what is that group called? See, that's why my wrestling's getting kind of jarred.
Right.
I'm watching Japanese wrestling too, so.
Okay.
Because there are people that are coming over. They're about to, the WWE releases people and then signs them, and there's going to be some big people that are leaving AEW this year.
So, what I'm seeing on the WWE website is surprising. But also at the same time, I'm also kind of enjoying because last year, didn't they give us everybody that was entering into the Royal Rumble?
Fairly early.
Except for one from each match.
Right, and I think it was like Brock Lesnar or something that we didn't know.
Yeah, and it was like obvious.
So one thing that
leading into those.
One thing that they're teasing is there's a guy that's a former champion that has a TV show on CBS or NBC. He's a multi-millionaire actor. His name is The Rock.
Okay.
And they're teasing The Rock because he said that he wants to sit at the head of the table.
Right. So do you think he'll come in at the Royal Rumble, win the money, or win it, and then go on to...
Right.
Whatever.
And then that sets up Cody.
Well, no, that's Money in the Bank. Thinking about.
Well, no, he could come in and win the Royal Rumble, and it would make sense because then he could dethrone Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns can take his needed break off, which he needs a break because he takes breaks off anyway. And then Cody Rhodes can go a whole other year telling his story, which we're understanding that's part of his character. That we like that about him, or at least I like it.
Right.
Because he goes through and he's had a good session with Shinsuke Nakamura. And then there's people that don't make sense. Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre have declared for the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Drew McIntyre's in limbo. Bobby Lashley's got him a crew now with the Street Profits. They're like the new Nation of Domination, but they wear suits.
Right.
So the only storylines that make sense is take CM Punk and Cody Rhodes from Raw, get them entangled in something next week. So when they go into the Royal Rumble, that it builds up star power because we want to see this match now. Cody Rhodes is this ultimate superstar that built AEW. CM Punk is the man that destroyed AEW. So that's a narrative that WWE's running behind the scenes to, say, give Tony Khan a nephew.
Okay.
Because that's his star power gone. That's why, because WWE is in contact with another company to actually go over to Warner Brothers with one of their shows. So that's a real sting. But on the SmackDown end, it's crazy because you don't have star power over there except for those guys I named that are fighting Roman Reigns this week. Those are the 3 top stars. And the bloodline, there's really no bloodline anymore. It's basically Soko and the other Uso we don't care about. And then, then there's Jimmy. Why isn't Jimmy getting a spotlight? Jimmy needs to be the one that dethroned Roman Reigns, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we don't exactly know what's going on, and those are good ideas.
But where he's on Raw, he's becoming a legitimate single star.
Okay.
And his brother is falling behind his younger brother because Solo is out there getting his ass beat, but he's beating people. He's the enforcer. Right. So this whole thing with The Rock, they kind of ignored it last Friday.
Okay.
So it's something.
So who do you think is going to be the surprise entrant to the Men's Royal Rumble?
Okay, some surprises. I feel like Booker T will just be in it because he's in good shape. And he was in it like 1 year and got eliminated after 2 people. And that's a good shock value. But there's some independent wrestlers that I will not name because I don't want to get jammed up in anything. There's one that I'll just say he's strong. And anybody that knows anything about Impact Wrestling knows who I'm talking about. Okay. There's a lot of free agents. And then...
so you're hoping they'll kind of bring back some of their people that they had previously released? Or they have been at another company that are no longer working for that company.
Right.
Okay.
There's a lot of free agents there. What I'm really excited about is the Women's Royal Rumble.
We're not there yet.
Okay, but anyway, in the Men's Royal Rumble, like I said, it's kind of already laid out who's going to win it. If it's not The Rock, it's CM Punk.
So you do think The Rock will do the Royal Rumble?
Right. If he doesn't do it, CM Punk will go over. It's no reason to put Cody Rhodes over because we can do his story forever. And nobody's getting mad.
Well, I'm just hoping the New Day comes back. The entire New Day.
And that's a work in progress.
And I'm specifically talking about Mr. Big E.
Right. And I
wish him well, but I would like him to come back so we can enjoy the New Day one last time.
And one thing I want to do out there, there's a wrestler that injured him named Rich Holland. Mm-hmm. He injured another person on SmackDown, and then he went down to NXT and injured another person. 1 time's fine. 2 times, I'm iffy, but you do it 3 times. Let's get this guy better training, or let's send him over to NXT Europe or somewhere where he's from, because he's hurting people. He's not on the main roster anymore. They kind of broke up that group with him, Sheamus and Butch. He was a really buff one. That's the guy that broke Big E's neck. Okay. So they've regulated him down to the bottom. But let's release him. We need that cap space anyway, so we can sign one of these new. But let's bring back my favorite wrestler that's not there, Rusev.
Right, yeah, especially if it's a third offense. The third offense should be automatically cut from the company for an extended period of time, Because the first time you should be correcting the issue. The second time, nope, you're no longer doing anything. You need to train.
Right.
And then when they come back, if it happens a third time, sorry.
You're gone,
repetitive behavior. See you later.
Because he injured one of those guys that's part of that tag team that wears the little man shoulder things. It's a
not the Viking Raider guys, but they kind of resemble the Viking Raider guys.
They kind of remind you of somebody from Frozen.
Was it?
They had long ponytails.
Ivan or Eric and Ivar.
Yeah, that's
those guys.
Not those guys, because
okay.
You're talking about the Viking Raiders, but it's
but they look kind of like them.
Kind of, but they're like princesses.
The Van Halen guys. Is that who that is?
Yeah, that's who you're talking about, but the guys I'm talking about are different. They're like, I don't even know their names. Like, I should, and I'm sorry that we're doing a wrestling show and I don't know everybody's name. I'm on Cage Seat Wrestling. I'm not even on WWE looking at this stuff.
Yeah.
So, you injure people. Let's take care of these guys. So another thing, the Dark Horse, the Damian Priest group.
Right.
Just talking about the male wrestlers first. Damian Priest has been holding this Money in the Bank. He teased last night that he was going to get it.
Because they can cash it in up until at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they can cash it in at any world title match.
Right, but they have a limited time to cash it in. How long do they have it to cash it in? Up until the next Money in the Bank?
They have a whole year to cash it in. So with him having it and his character...
Oh, so technically, Roman Reigns could come out... Not Roman Reigns. The Rock could come out and win the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Go beat the crap out of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns kind of beats the crap out of him. And then...
Damian
Priest can come cash in the Money in the Bank while the Demon comes and just kind of grabs him from behind and lets him win.
Right. Now, the scenario is he keeps teasing with Seth Rollins. He came out there last night, and Damian Priest is locked in a feud with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
So that's telling you that they're going to stalemate, that they're not even worried about the Money in the Bank.
Right.
When I seen that, I was like, that killed me, because I was like, let the dude do a fake cash-in, because Jinder Mahal came out with some two big dudes with him.
I think they're going to do it at the right time, because they do have a lot of larger men, and I'm not talking about anything besides muscle and height. Because... you put Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, what's his name? We were just talking about him a second ago. Damian Priest.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns at his bulkiest.
Yeah.
Like those, and then you would throw in who else? Cowboy hat. Brock Lesnar when he decides to show up.
Right.
And like those 6 guys there, I feel like
could go somewhere.
Are your bigger guys to kind of hard to put Finn Balor up against one of them to win. Right. That's what I'm trying to say.
But my problem with Finn Balor, I have one person that's a dark horse that could shut this whole thing down. And he is the greatest Intercontinental Champion and the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, Gunther. People sleep on him because he's taller and he's muscular and he lost all that weight because he was fat and he just got skinny.
Right.
And he vowed yesterday on Raw to win the title. He was like, in his voice. I'm not doing that to make fun of his accent or nothing. I'm just being funny. So Gunther and his goons, because he has a 3-person squad.
Right, because it's hard to remember exactly what someone says.
Right. So
there's all kinds of things we could go into. So the women, they have only declared 4 people as of the post on WWE Network.
And they are Bayley,
Becky Lynch, Nia Jax, and Bianca Belair.
Right. Now I have something
which none of them have a title, right?
Right.
Okay.
And your title holders are Io Shirai, which I call her Io Sky, or she may be called Io Sky now, but I still call her Io Shirai. And then you have the monster, the juggernaut, that's not going to lose her belt, Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
It's nobody. The only way that she can get beat is if Nia Jax was the one to take it off her. Because in dominating fashion, she beat everybody. My dark horse on that, because you know that the women's tag team champions are 2 little girls right now, or little ladies. I'm not saying girls. I don't know their names, but they're from NXT. They came up and they won it. So Piper Niven and Zack Ryder's wife. What's her name? Zack Ryder's wife. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, I
They
know
were the
who you're
former
talking
champions.
about.
So they're not going to even be figures in the Royal Rumble. And Natty and her tag team partner, Tegan Knox, it's a lot of women that are in this tag team hunt. The tag team titles for women has been a competitive thing. It was the last match before the main event last night. So their focus is on that, getting those tag teams together, meshing them up together, because Shayna Baszler and the girl with the blonde hair, I can't think of her name. I'm sorry, people. I need to learn all
Which one are you talking about? So the women's tag team champions, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter.
Yeah, but the team that won the right to face them is Shayna Baszler, and the girl with the darkest blonde hair that fought she fought somebody, and it was wild. I can't think of her name, but it'll come to me later. But they're going to be the ones that end up taking on them for the titles, because they're like MMA fighters. They're kind of buff and they're cut up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll find her here in a second. You keep going.
Yeah, so that's going to be the tag team titles. So tag team titles have enough teams around it that they may take Natty and throw her in the mix. But I've got some wrestlers that are not contractually obligated to anyone after last week, in the realms of Naomi and Sasha Banks. So here's the irony in this. At the
Mercedes, formerly known as Sasha Banks.
At the TNA pay-per-view, the big pay-per-view, Bound for Impact or whatever it was called, Bayley and Sasha Banks were incognito at the top of the stadium watching the show and videotaped. Now,
but they were friends in real life, right?
Right. So the one thing here that is known is that AEW could not strike a deal with Sasha Banks. The next thing is that the WWE and TNA have entered into a working agreement. Don't know if that's just about the videos or if it's about wrestlers, but they all have been chummy because Mickie James came to the Royal Rumble last year and she was the TNA champion.
Right.
And so there's a work.
Didn't you say that there was like a, not necessarily a, oh yeah, you can use our people, we'll use your people all the time, but it's kind of like a, oh hey, we would like this person to come over. It's like a as needed type thing.
Right. But since then they've struck some kind of working agreement that was announced on one of the reputable sites. I think it was Sportskeeda or somewhere like that. It was announced that WWE and Impact Wrestling do have a working agreement on something. So we know that they exchanged wrestlers and they put wrestlers in the Hall of Fame, because AJ Styles and Samoa Joe at that time were big over there, which Samoa Joe's somewhere else, and he has a world champion right now, so shout out to him.
Raquel Rodriguez?
No, it was...
No? Not even her?
I want to say her name is Zoe Starks.
Okay.
Zoe Starks is her name. I don't know how I get the names back to me. I close my eyes and visualize it. I'm like, Zoe Starks, because she's got more muscle than me. Her and Shayna Baszler are like a MMA type, they're strong women, so they're going to do something with them. Zoe Starks. Right. She's the one that beat up, what was it, the old wrestler? Trish Stratus. She's the one that jumped her and beat her up after they were together.
Okay.
But anyway, so women titles and stuff like that, something's going to get announced where they're going to actually have a title match for one of the women's titles. They're not going to have both, but Rhea Ripley hasn't had a feud because she's been fighting this girl that hangs out with, the Creed brothers, which the Creed brothers are one of the hottest tag teams out right now. I know you haven't seen them yet, but they're just two burly boys, and they got a finisher that's ridiculous. We'll have to look at it later. So, tag team belt wise, you've got Finn Balor and you have Damian Priest. So that puts you in a weird situation where you feel like they're going to dump the titles off of them, because no offense to Finn Balor, but he doesn't need a title to be justified.
Right.
And his crew right now is better than the Bloodline. They're the biggest thing on wrestling, and especially with R-Truth in the background selling bootleg shirts like he did in the comedic event last night. He sold the shirts, and then Damian Priest was about to beat him up, and he handed Damian Priest like $1,000. And then the rest of them he handed him, and he's been tagging with The Miz. And they're bringing back whatever their tag team used to be called, because they are.
So I'm definitely going to have to catch up on Friday. That's the next episode.
Right.
So Saturday, when is it? Saturday, January the 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find this streaming exclusively on exclusively on Peacock. I love Peacock.
Right.
We are not sponsored by them, but if y'all out there work for Peacock and you know how to get in contact, give us a shout out, or shoot us an email.
And then don't forget this one amazing thing. we're going to be down in Florida.
Right.
And we're going to be near.
We might pop up.
We might pop up.
My plan is to pop up.
Yeah.
If that $10,000 ticket goes down to less than that, I'll go.
So we're not going to say anything yet, but we'll just say this. We will be near the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And we will be a part of it in some fashion.
Yes. So again, we'd like to thank you for listening, hanging in there, enjoying this and that. Let us know who your favorite wrestler is, current and past. If they're different, let us know. If we were wrong on anything, we would like to apologize. We were just kind of reading off of the WWE.com and whatever website JR was using, along with his personal intelligence when it comes to that stuff. Because that's one thing I will say about you is you are very educated when it comes to all things wrestling.
Yes.
And, sorry to the WWE company that decided to pass on you when you were younger, because you have given me a lot of examples and matches that would make sense. So don't forget to follow us on any type of social media out there. And we do want to remind you, next week is Podfest. So this is kind of just a filler episode that we needed to throw in there to get out. And then also let you know what we might be doing Saturday. So,
and one last thing, because I always throw something in there at the very end. I want to thank everybody for what they've been doing with our show. Me and Stacy really appreciate you guys. And I'm JR.
I'm Stacy.
It can be hard to teach your kids about how their emotions can affect their actions and attitudes. Sometimes it is the smallest thing that can make us angry and react in unkind ways. What Should Dragon Do follows Dragon and her two roommates as they navigate the everyday irritations of living together. Dragon responds in anger when things don't always go her way. Through question and answer, kids learn how to choose patience and kindness and how to make better choices. Written by Stephanie Webb with beautiful and colorful illustrations by Kids Art, What Should Dragon Do will make you laugh as you read about Dragon and her adventures with her friends. What Should Dragon Do can be ordered online through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Chapters Indigo, or directly from the publisher at friesenpress.com. It is also available as an audiobook on Audible.